Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. Today I want to talk about a possible Eurovision revolution in Germany for 2025. It has to do with this guy, Stefan Raab. If you're a Eurovision fan or a German, you will know who he is. And he seems to have a plan to finally rescue Germany in Eurovision. And in this video I will tell you what the plan is, why I think it's quite genius, and why it might never happen. It is no secret that Germany has been in quite a slump recently when it comes to the results at Eurovision. We have 4 last places, 3 second to last places, and 1 top 5 in the last 8 editions. So there really is a lot of room for improvement. And if we look at the ratings of Eurovision in Germany, we can also see that things have changed quite a bit. 14.7 million people saw Lina win in 2010. 13.9 million saw our own edition from Düsseldorf in 2011. Then there were around 8 million, 9 million people watching. And in the last couple of years, it has gone down to 6.5 and 7 million roundabout. So there has been quite a decline in ratings. However, the market share has stayed basically the same. And the fact that 6.5 million people watch a competition that Germany almost always comes last in shows you that there is huge potential for the competition in Germany, and it is quite sad that we haven't been able to tap into that. And in comes Stefan Raab, because we had a time in the 90s when Eurovision was seen as something old-fashioned that Germany did badly in, and people just stopped watching it. And then in 1998, Stefan Raab and Gildo Horn really revived the whole thing for Germany and kind of also changed Eurovision in the process. He then performed himself in Eurovision 2000, was involved in the entry in 2003, and then of course he was the mentor of Lena, and he had thought of this new idea of doing the national selection from 2010 to 2012, and he is actually responsible for 5 out of the 7 times Germany has come top 10 in the new millennium, so he knows what he is doing. So what is his plan for the German national selection in 2025? Well, DWDL has reported that he has approached 4 different channels to cooperate on the national final. A bit of background for you. Germany has 4 main big stations. There's a 5th, Sat.1, but I'm not going to mention them because they're not part of the plan. 2 of them are public service channels. These are ARD, which is responsible for Eurovision, and ZDF, and 2 big private channels, RTL and Pro7. And he has approached all of them to try to convince them to do the national selection together. So what is his idea? His idea is that ZDF, RTL and Pro7 will each host 1 heat of the national selection, and you see the different graphics there that I used, they can decide how they want to set up that part of the selection process. So ZDF might invite some Schlager singers, RTL might do a whole casting show, Pro7 might revive the Bundesvision Song Contest, which was a competition of the German regions like Eurovision, and then in the end, the qualifiers will go to the final, which will be broadcast on ARD. There are also some rumors that ARD might have a 4th heat, and then the final still will be in ARD. There are several reasons why I think this is actually a genius idea. One of them you can see here. This is the average age of the viewers of these channels. So you can see the public service stations, ARD and ZDF. The average viewer is 64 or 65 years old, so quite old. For RTL, it's 55, and for Pro7, it's 44. Pro7 has one of the youngest viewerships on German television, of all the channels on German television. And there are many demographics that watch mostly the private channels and other demographics that watch mostly the public channels. So this might be a possibility to reach as many people as possible and get them excited about Eurovision, which of course is something that we as Eurovision fans really want. Another reason why this is genius is that it creates a competition between the different TV stations and channels. They want their entry, the entry that their show selected, to win the national final and go to Eurovision. They will promote the entry, they will mention it on their news, maybe on their magazines. And so all of these different demographics will be conscious of who is in the national final, and then in the end, of course, also who gets selected and will be sent to Eurovision. If nowadays you ask someone in Germany who is representing us this year in Eurovision, I'm quite sure that 98% will not know. And if you tell them it's Isaac, the same 98% will also not know who he is and will never have heard the song. So there isn't really an excitement about the German entry. And this selection method could create a feeling of this person is representing all of us. We have chosen him together in this national final throughout all of these channels and the heats, and we have to support him, and we will watch him perform on the Eurovision stage. So kind of a national consciousness about our Eurovision entry, which would be a big change to how it is at the moment. And also the music industry should be interested in a concept like this because it gives new artists or established artists a possibility to promote their music. It has become less and less easy to find ways to promote your music because people don't really watch TV anymore. They're more on YouTube or doing other kinds of things. So having this national moment where everyone watches what is going to happen and listens to your song will have a big impact, and everyone will have to talk about it. And this could create this buzz that Germany really needs in Eurovision. And this can also influence the results. I think the 12 points from Spain to Lena in 2010 and from other countries as well were not only Spanish people voting for Lena because she was very good, but also Germans living in these countries that were very excited about the German entry and thus voted for it. Some reasons why this genius idea might still fail are some roadblocks along the way. One of them is that ZDF, ProSieben and RTL might ask themselves, why should we support this Eurovision effort if the national final and also the big international final of Eurovision will be shown on ARD, and we're kind of creating competition for ourselves. However, one solution, which we have already seen in 2011 when ProSieben showed one of the semifinals from Düsseldorf, might be to give one of the semifinals to RTL, the other to ProSieben. At the moment, they're shown on a channel that no one watches and no one knows. So that might also help the brand of Eurovision in Germany. And then ZDF can do some other kind of show before the big final, something like that. And another reason that it might not happen is that things move at a glacial pace, especially in public service stations. I don't think that's a German thing. I think that's a universal thing in a way. And the fact that ARD is kind of structured in a very specific way. You can see it here. Each region has their own regional TV station, and they together make up ARD. And NDR at the moment is responsible for Eurovision and also responsible for all the bad results. And there have been rumors that NDR might be handing over the responsibility for Eurovision to MDR. So the big question kind of becomes, will they have the will and the possibilities also to do such a big new thing while this restructuring is still happening? There are some rumors as well that they are waiting for the result in Malmö, for Isaac's result, to see whether there is actually enough pressure to change it, even though I don't really understand what else we need to know that our system at the moment is just not working to find the right song for Eurovision. That is my explanation, my opinion. I hope it happens. I think it would be amazing if it happens. Eurovision deserves a new chance in Germany, as it has gotten a new chance in the Netherlands and Spain and other countries. And I really hope that this happens. I will keep you informed on this channel, so do subscribe if you haven't yet. And then I'll see you for my next video. See you then, and bye-bye.